The Intuitive Wellness Cafe podcast is hosted by me, intuitive eating wellness coach Deanna Kozarov. My mission is to show women that health and wellness can be achieved without the pursuit of weight loss, counting calories, and spending hours in the gym punishing yourself. I am taking back health and wellness from diet culture and showing women that they don't have to succumb to diet culture standards to feel good in their body and find joy in life. I'll be coming on the podcast to talk about a variety of topics that will help you on your journey to food freedom, movement, and how to care for your body and life. It is my hope that by having this podcast, you will have the mental and emotional space freed up to enjoy life instead of constantly worrying and stressing over food and exercise, and live the life that you deserve. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Intuitive Wellness Cafe podcast. I hope you're well and good. Today, I'm going to chat about wellness and social media and my current thoughts on social media. And before I start, just want to remind you about my free starter guide, Making Peace with Your Plate, that will be available at the link in the show notes, and it will give you quick tips that you can start today when it comes to having a much calmer, stress-free relationship with food and your body. So be sure to grab that. And this is going to be the last episode of season 2. I actually am publishing this episode a week earlier than usual. I post episodes every other week, but this time around I'm publishing it only a week later because the tool that I typically use to create these episodes is going away July 8th. So I only had one more episode left of this season. So I just wanted to get that last episode in. And then for the third season, I'm going to have to look into other tools to create these episodes. So that is why I am recording this episode a week later, or publishing rather a week later than usual. So if you're wondering, that's why. So I don't know if you had heard recently, but the U.S. Surgeon General has issued a warning about how social media has a detrimental effect on teens, and they are probably going to start putting out recommendations and laws around this concern. Honestly, I think they should extend it to the general population. I mean, young adults, older adults. I think all of us could have some recommendations and laws around the effects of social media is having on people right now. Even among my feed where I follow a mix of like everyday individuals doing amazing things and as well as fellow coaches, a theme I'm noticing is there's a theme of like leaving social media, and it has been popping up over and over and over again on my socials. And I have been even thinking to drop Instagram myself, as it just seems to get harder and harder to be seen as a service provider there, which is making it less enjoyable. And I do enjoy engaging with my followers on my Instagram that I do have, and even having fun making posts sometimes. But the algorithm makes it more and more difficult to see our follows, friends, and pages we actually want to see. Then add suggestion pages that you probably were better off left not seeing as well. And you're now getting, more and more a little bit, or at least in my case, a little bit more bummed out about that. And on top of that, excessive mindless scrolling becomes a habit that can affect one's mental well-being. And not to mention some of the toxic interactions you see on there. I am definitely guilty of mindless scrolling, which eats up a lot of time. A lot of time I could have been doing something productive and or meaningful. And has that ever happened to you? You're not alone, I can assure you, if it has. I think we've all been through it. It's happening to all of us. I can't dismiss social media altogether because as I met wonderful women who I have collaborated and keep in touch with now, coaches, authors, speakers, friends, neighbors, you name it. So I'm not going to erase my Instagram completely off the face of the earth. By the way, I am on Instagram as, it's just my name, is my handle, Deanna Kozarov. If you wish to follow me, I'm there. I will be there, just in case you were wondering. So like I said, I'm not going to erase my Instagram completely off the face of the earth, but I will be working on ways to use social media more intentionally and not let it consume my entire being. I would like to keep a presence on there, but use it as one of many parts of my ecosystem as I continue to coach and inspire women when it comes to non-diet life. I'm ready to do more in-person events and workshops, online workshops as well, I would like to get into. And I'm definitely going to continue my podcast and keep my email list. And also blogging has been enjoyable for me as well. So as I continue to decrease my posting on Instagram and Facebook, I do invite you into my email newsletter community. I send out emails 1 to 2 times a month, and I post things like coaching tips, inspirations, offers, deals, special events, maybe articles or something I've seen in the media that would I feel would benefit if I share them to you. Things like that. So, things that are going on in my life and lessons I've learned, all those things. So feel free to grab my free guide. You will then get on the email list like that. Otherwise, just send me an email, deanna@deannakozarov.com, and I can put you right away on my email list. So like I said, 1 to 2 times a month I send. I don't send a million like emails every day. It's just 1 to 2. It's like a bi-weekly newsletter if you're interested. And, take an inventory of yourself if you feel like you need to get off of social media or reduce your time on there. You can also mute people these days, which is a great feature on Instagram. Especially in diet culture, there's so much out there that's very toxic when it comes to diet culture. So that's one of the many reasons why the U.S. Surgeon General is putting out a warning about the mental health effects of social media on teenagers, because it's not meant for a teenager and for kids because of all the things that are on there. But like I said, it affects, even us adults sometimes. So you can curate your feed so that you're only seeing things that you want to see, that you're interested in seeing, that have a positive effect. Otherwise, you can also take a break. You can take long stretches of break, or limit how long you're on it per day. There's a lot of apps and tools for that too, to manage your time on here. Or, if you feel like you would rather connect with people in different ways, like through emails, email is still a thing. It's still a thing. So emailing is great. Facebook, I know if you go on the computer, I don't know about mobile. I know on the computer you can actually limit where you only see like the groups that you're a part of. So that's an idea. I do that on my computer. Like when I go on Facebook on my computer, it's just the groups that I'm a part of, that I'm actually interested in, that are positive and provide, extra support. I do have a Facebook group as well, the Food Freedom Women's group. I'll put that in the show notes as well if you're interested in joining that. So that's another option. You don't have to completely be off of social media, but there are ways to limit it and use it intentionally. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spend, more time doing, well, of course, working on my podcast. Like I said, this is the last episode of this season. Then I'm going to go on a long hiatus. But my email list is still up and running. So like I said, get on the list, and I send emails 1 to 2 times a week. And also, of course, my blog, I update that every other week as well. Sometimes maybe every week, depending on what's going on with me. So yeah, there's other ways to communicate, and like I just been seeing a pattern of people leaving social media because it's just affecting their mental health and mental well-being. And yeah, you handle or you navigate social media the way you think it will feel good to you, and how it will work for you, and what's best for you, and what's right for you and your family and your friends, and things like that. So but if these are the kinds of things we also talk about in my one-to-one private coaching program. This is a topic we can also get into. I can help you curate your feed if you do want to stay on social media, but there's a lot of diet culture, toxic messages out there. And if you need help with that, we can talk about that too. That's one topic of many that I talk about, as well as other aspects of our health that does not require dieting or obsessive workouts. I'll add the link in my show notes to the details of my one-to-one private coaching program. And then it'll have a link for you to be able to apply, and then go ahead and apply, and I will then respond back to you, and we can go from there. And as always, please leave a review, share this episode and podcast with others that you feel would benefit. This would help get the word out more about this podcast and the messages that I talk about here. And if you want to just get on my email list just so that you know when I start up season 3 again, that's another good way to keep in touch with me as well, is to get on the email list. And when I start season 3 again, you will be like the first to know when that starts up again. I don't want to say the exact date when I'll be starting season 3, Like I said, I'm going to spend, especially now as the time of this recording, it's summer and kids are out of school. So I'm going to shift my focus on other areas of my business. And then I will definitely come back to the podcast because I do love podcasting and speaking to you all. I do actually enjoy it. So, well, once again, thank you for listening and stay in touch. Get on my email newsletter. And I will catch you in season 3.